Wow, you got a lot going on, kid.
What, my last name? That's the reason I got a decent job. That's the reason why people deal with me in the first place. Now I start to get a little ahead. I start to get a little something for myself. And this happens. Now I'm asking you as a favor not to go through with this, okay? This is only gonna end up bad for you, and it's gonna end up bad for me.
You think I'm hurting you?
Yeah, in a way you are.
That's the last thing I ever wanted to do.
I know that's not what you want to do, but that's just the way that it is. Don't you care what people think? Doesn't it bother you that people are making you out to be a joke and that I'm gonna be included in that? Do you think that's right? Do you?
You ain't gonna believe this. But you used to fit right here. I'd hold you up and say to your mother, this kid's gonna be the best kid in the world. This kid's gonna be somebody better than anybody ever knew. And you grew up good and wonderful. It was great just watching you every day. It was like a privilege. Then the time come for you to be your own man and take on the world, and you did. But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. I'm always gonna love you no matter what. No matter what happens. You're my son, you're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life. Don't forget to visit your mother.
Hello, Blue Pearl Oracle, back at you again. Been a while since I've done a video. As promised, I wanted to do a few videos on discipline. Some of the hardest things that we want to accomplish do take discipline. So, you know, this is basically the discipline factor. What is the factor that enables us to forge discipline in our lives? You know, discipline, bringing things into a place where you are doing things that maybe you don't like. I mean, we all have stuff we don't like to do. And sometimes the things that we don't like to do, the things that make us uncomfortable, in context to quote unquote disciplining ourselves, can be, you know, getting started can be hard. And then, you know, forging something to that discipline in context to protocol and routine can be difficult the first 2 weeks. Trying to get yourself into the pattern of that discipline and staying on it. Because there's so many things that can pull you off in your life that come up, and then it pulls you away from, you know, what you're trying to forge. And what happens? You don't get back on you don't get back on it. So the key, I think, one of the keys anyway, is to learn, you know, I'm basically going to title this Learning How to Love What You Don't. And that's hard, because we got to learn how to love discipline in our lives. And how do we do that? Like, how do we forge discipline in our lives and actually learn how to enjoy it and love it, for its actual, forging the being uncomfortable with things. Because what are we ultimately doing when we're trying to forge something? We're trying to change. We're trying to make change in our lives. So that change is hard because you know that you need to do it, and you know that it's going to be good for you. But the problem is that we're stuck in the old patterns, the old pathways of doing things a certain way, and we don't like to change how we're doing things because it becomes uncomfortable, because we have to build new pathways. And so it takes effort, it takes time, it takes tenacity, it takes perseverance, it takes endurance, all of these things. I mean, if you haven't exercised for years and now you want to start exercising, you've got to forge it. You've got to go, a full month on, hitting it, starting slow, working your body, working your mind, working your, all of it together, syncing it. And sometimes it's difficult because, this comes up, that comes up. Oh, well, I'm just going to skip today, or I'll skip a couple days because I got this going on, and I can pick it back up. Well, the problem is that we don't pick it back up. We just, have it in the back of our minds that we're going to do it, but we don't actually pick it back up. So when those issues come up where we're getting pulled and it's like, okay, I'm so busy, I got this, I got that, I got all this to do, I don't have time to do the discipline. That's when you make time to do the discipline, even if it's half of it or a quarter of it. You're still in the momentum process of trying to forge something, and you need the momentum to propel you, and getting on it, because once you complete that, that discipline for the day, whether it's exercise or whatever it is that you're doing, once you complete it, you feel good. See, because you were like, oh shit, I actually am doing this. I didn't skip, I didn't compromise, I didn't rationalize. And when you're doing that, you're forging, something in your life that's going to make a great change, whether it's your mental, emotional, physical aspect, just doing meditation, bringing yourself into guided meditation, and bringing that into a place where you are, becoming the I am in that meditation, and then bringing it into a space of that's who you are, and owning it, and doing that every day. I've developed a protocol to that aspect. I do it every morning. I've forged it for years now. And it's something that I have to do now. I can't not miss. If I miss a couple days, I know I can feel it. If I'm not balancing myself, in the mornings when I first get started with my day, I can feel that I get out, I get pulled, something happens, and this is the other thing that we don't remember is that vibrational correspondence is always in play. So what you're broadcasting in your reality field is coming back at you. And, it is the subconscious mind. See, that's really running the show. So you've got to realize that these protocols, whether they're mental, emotional, or physical, are forging something in your life that you need and that you want. Let's take it to the health aspect, looking at supplements and doing some type of fruit in your life. We all need fucking fruit. We should all be eating a lot of fruit because it's biomagnetic energy. So you buy the fruit, you make the smoothies, you do all of that, you get your powders, you put it all in, and you build a protocol to that. You make a large amount, enough for 2 days, and then you make another one and you keep going with it. And as you're doing that, you're feeding your body biomagnetic energy. That's a protocol that I have, implemented into my life as well. And so these things are all good to forge, to forge your path, to keep your physical health in a space where you are thriving. Because if you don't have your physical health, this path work, is so difficult anyway with your physical health. Imagine if you're sickly and trying to do this path work, see? And so, and for those people who do have issues, you need to go and research and look at what it's going to take naturally to get you back on track, see? And you start doing that protocol, because why? Because your health is all that you've got. You got two things in this world. You got your health and you got time. Those are the two major currencies that you've got in your life. Without your health, you ain't got shit. You can't do shit. You can't go places. You can't, forge this path, because you just don't have the mental, emotional state in context to your physical aspect to do it, because you don't have your health. Your health is number one, period. And so you've got to forge that mental, emotional, and physical health to the highest standard that you can. And that is creating the disciplines in your life to do that, and learning to love those disciplines. Because why? Because of the final outcome, or the outcome that you're getting in context to becoming a better person, a better man, a better woman, a better human being, and a powerful mage. And so that's how we do it. And so we implement these protocols into our lives for change and transformation. And you got to learn how to love the change. You got to learn how to love the discipline. The discipline is what's going to propel you and train you when the moment comes when you need it. When you need that training, that discipline, that mind discipline, that heart discipline, that emotional discipline, that mental discipline, that physical strength. When you need it, it's there. Because why? Because you forged it in your life. See, this is Saturnian energy. It's discipline. And nobody likes the Saturnian energy, because it's going to call your ass out. See, it's going to call your ass out because you're being lazy, you're being lethargic, and you've allowed stagnation and entropy to enter your life in context of forging something that's great to your path work. And I'm not talking about getting down on yourself because you didn't do it. And I'm not talking about shame and guilt and all that bullshit. I'm talking about if you get off the discipline, if you get off of it, you recognize it and you get right back on. You get your mind right. You get it back on. You get going again, see? And you set your intent to forge it for 7, 8, 9, 10 days in a row. Boom, 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 boom. And nothing's going to stop you, see? And if you get off, you miss a day or two, get right back on. Learn to love the process, And I'm sorry, but this is the way that it is. We can't just stay in our own, our own bullshit and think, and keep doing the same things and think we're going to change or forge anything, because we're just not. It's not going to happen until you do it. It's like drinking water. Don't just drink water. Drink high-level water. Set yourself into a protocol of drinking high-level water. Water that is going to be filled with minerals, pH'd, maybe even alkaline water, pH'd good, that has minerals and I put colloidal silver and minerals and SSKI, which is potassium iodide, in my water that I'm drinking, because it's high-level water. You gotta put high-level stuff into your body. And, we all, have the junk food crave once in a while, and I get it. So what? So what? You fall off, you get, what happened, whatever happens, right? You get back on. See? Because even though that day you fell off, that 6 days you're doing it right. Okay? You got to look at the aspect of what you're actually doing that's forging correctly. See? And so the whole idea here is to learn how to love the discipline factor in your life. The factor that's going to help you level up, your consciousness and master, all of the aspects of this realm, emotional, mental, temporal, physical, all the way down, And so that's what we have to do as those who are doing this and loving in this. And the other thing is that this is a form of loving yourself, is loving the discipline. Look at it like that as well. Because as you're doing these protocols into your life, you are actually saying, I love myself with an intense love. And this is what I'm forging to my physical, mental, and emotional aspect. And when you start to do that, you start to realize that there's going to be things and times and seasons that, things are going to come up that you're not going to be able to do it. Well, then do a little bit, but keep the momentum going. Instead of doing I do like an hour meditation, 45 minutes, an hour in the mornings when I'm driving, drawing the circle, clearing things out. Sometimes I don't have that hour. I do 15 minutes. See? You know what I'm saying? So do the 15 minutes and love the 15 minutes and be thankful that you got the 15 minutes. See? And that's the whole point of the discipline factor, is to keeping the momentum going, keeping it rolling, keeping things going, and then feeling good about yourself. See, empowering yourself, encouraging yourself, self-validating. See, bringing things into a place where your Leo energy, your courage, and your strength is coming online. Your fifth gate energy. You're learning to love and have a passion and have a love for forging your soul's purpose. Your self and soul expression. And then making adjustments when new information comes in context to what you're doing, that's going to level you up even more, and being able to make that mutable change in context to mutable energy. And so that's how we do it. And so when we step into that place where we are forging ourselves, it's obvious to others, especially those that know you and that are around you on a daily or weekly basis. They're going to be like, something's different about you. Your countenance is higher. Your energy is different. Your energy is stronger. You have more, you have more flexibility in your life. You're not easily triggered because you're feeling good about yourself. See, these are all factors that play into the discipline factor. And when we start to realize this and we start to gain some momentum, the law of momentum then becomes on our ally, on our side. Because like I said, we have two things. We have our health and we've got time. Those are the currencies that we work with here in context to the Saturnian energy, and that is also sixth gate energy in context to Virgo, and that is the health gate. So where your sixth house placing is, or your Virgo energy is, or your sixth house, that's what you need to look at in context to the challenges in your chart. What is the aspects to your sixth house? See, to your Virgo energy. What's sitting there? How is it being aspected? Where are the challenges to that? See? And so once you know that, then you can realize, oh, these are the blockages. These are the things I need to work on to bring my sixth house online in alignment in context to my health and service to others. Because without your health, you will never be service to others, because you're always in that place where you're sickly and all you can think about is yourself. And so bringing things into the sixth house then becomes very important to the 12th house axis, because then once you're feeling good, your first eye and your third eye open up, and that's where your intuition, that's where your psychic abilities and all those giftings take place in context to your 12th house and your the aspects of your mystic abilities. And so this is where where it comes online. See? And when you're wielding those protocols, not only to your physical body, but your mental and emotional aspect, to emotional intelligence, and being able to actually look at things with reason and logic, that's when you're starting to wield something. And don't be afraid to fail, because if you get back up from that, failing, not being able to follow through, and you get back up and you get back on it, you haven't failed. See? The only reason you fail is because you stopped. You stopped doing it. And when you stop doing it and you just say, I can't do it, it's too hard, you failed yourself. That's what it comes down to. So don't be afraid, and don't get hard and down on yourself either because you miss it a couple days or whatever. Just get back on it. Get back on it and start doing it again. It's really that simple. So, next time when you want to forge something in your life, you just got to do it. And you got to set it in motion. And it's not going to get done until you do it, So, just wanted to set that for this first video out, called video number 1 with the discipline factor. Just an overview of how we learn how to love discipline in our lives, and learning to love being uncomfortable about things in our life. Look, if I'm doing these stretches for martial arts, at first I didn't like these stretches. I didn't like them because I'm like, oh, they hurt, man, and they did, and they still do. But I'm learning how to love that pain, because I know it's that pain that of stretching my body out that I'm disciplining myself to, that's going to pay off down the road. It's going to make my physical body better, see? And so this is how you have to look at it. You have to embrace the pain of the process and learn how to love that pain through the process, knowing that it's forging you, see? It's like a great sword that's forged in the fires. You put that sword in and you weaken it. It gets weak. You're able then to forge it with the hammer. See? And then once you folded it and forged it and folded it and forged it, and you put it in that water, and it comes out, and then you're polishing that sword up, and you're doing all the protocols to make it a great sword. At the end of the process, you have an Excalibur. See? You have forged yourself with the mental tenacity that it takes to do it. And that is the process. So, be encouraged, everybody. Much love. You can do it.
You can do it! Cover Winkler and Bees. You can do it. You can do it!
Get it together, man. Let's form great disciplines in our life in context to leveling up our superhuman consciousness, and be encouraged, everyone, because this is the time to do it. This is the discipline factor. Okay, if you want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me at hardcoreproductions9@gmail.com. You can get a hold of me at Hardcore Productions on Facebook. You can hit me up on Rodney Goodwin on Messenger. You can go to my website, www.hardcoreproductions.com, and hit me up. And the other thing I just want to plug here is transit readings. Okay, look, you guys got to get a hold of the transit readings. Not from me, not from anyone else. Learn how to do it yourself, and I'll teach you how to do it yourself. But you need mentors. You need people to show you how the transits actually work, because that is high planetary magic. And so when you're in this place where, your transits are moving and they're grooving and they're doing what they're doing, you got to know how to implement certain aspects to those transits to bring them into your favor, to learn how to forge that magic within the transit that's going on to your templating on the solar spiral. So, hit me up. The transit readings are powerful. I've had people hit me up and they're like, holy shit, what you told me last month is happening now. This, in the next 2 months, I can see it. It's setting up and it's forging me. See? And so this is the deal. Once you start to see how the orbs or the planetary consciousness affects you internally, then you can start to wield super high levels of consciousness to those aspects and bring them into your favor and catch it. Catch the pulse. Catch the wave. See? Of what's going on internally with you. Okay? All right. Much love, everybody. Blue Pearl Oracle out.